Hi everyone, welcome back to another session on a dissertation. So in the previous sessions, we have already seen what a dissertation is, what is the need of it, what is the importance of, what is the scope of it. Now, in this session, we would talk about what are the different steps, what are the different stages that are there in completing a dissertation. So as I had already said, a dissertation is a lengthy, deep, original research that is done by a student on a narrowed research problem. I had already told researches may take a long time duration. Sometimes it can go into years because finding the solution is for the research problem that we have in our hand is not a time bound thing. Sometimes we may get the solutions easier. Sometimes we may have to wait. Sometimes we may have to do the samplings, the researches, analysis, and everything longer. So usually independent subject experts may take sometimes even 3 to 4 years also to complete the researches properly. It depends. But when it comes to academic aspects, a dissertation or even a thesis, what happens is it's a time bound thing. Typically a time bound thing. We have to, not even supposed to, we have to submit the dissertation within the time limit that is prescribed by the institution. So if we have to do it, definitely we have to organize the different steps, the different stages in the process of making a dissertation, and we have to thoroughly follow that. We have to make it sure that every step is being done with such kind of a precision that we can complete the task within the stipulated time limit itself. It is very important. Now, what are the different stages or steps that are there in making a dissertation? The first step is preparation and topic selection. So we are already in a stage where we are dealing with the one particular or that particular field of our studies in which we are interested. So there we need to identify one particular area, subject area, where we need to conduct a research. So these kinds of things can happen, something like an enlightenment kind of a thing, when we attend the regular sessions itself. When a regular class is going on, when the lecturer or a professor is dealing with some particular areas, then itself some kind of questions may strike us. For example, if a session is happening about the SEBI, and if there are not much references regarding Bitcoin, it can strike us. We can try to find a solution for the doubt, the basic doubt that we have. What have SEBI told or instructed about Bitcoins? We do a general research to find the answer. If we find the answer for that, that's the end of it. We do not have any other scope to go beyond that. Or we may check the relevance of it, or how this particular thing called Bitcoin has evolved at the time when this law was implemented or made, and now what is happening in the market. We can think about the scope of things like that. So we have to analyze the topic in which we are interested. We have to find the different areas within that itself. Pick one topic which interests you much and create a research problem. This has to be done very peculiarly, and we should not hurry about it. Before we proceed with this particular thing, before we go beyond this particular thing, we have to make it sure that this particular problem that we have can be researched upon. Because sometimes what happens is our researches may end up at dead ends. We may come to a juncture from where there may not be any way possible forward. If we end up like that, dissertation will never happen. So we have to make it sure that the research problem that we have in our hand is a live one, which can be researched upon and a solution can be found about it. That has to be done first. Then we have to form a committee. A dissertation is something which has to be done under the supervision of a supervisor. And a committee of experts also must be there as per the institutional guidelines. Sometimes what happens is, as I told in the previous session, it may be an interdisciplinary research as well. So if it is an interdisciplinary research, we should have experts from all the concerned departments in the committee itself, because we have to follow the guidelines issued by the supervisor and the committee members. We are supposed to complete our research under their guidance. And when we select these people like the supervisor or the committee members, we have to make it sure that he is a person who has an expertise in the subject which we are dealing with. For example, think about a situation that we are doing a research on SEBI and the guide we have selected is an expert in crimes, law of crimes. What happens? His knowledge, his expertise as far as this corporate and securities law will be limited, and he may not be able to guide us properly. So if we have to avoid such kinds of situations, make it sure the guide that we have or we have selected is an expert in the subject which we have taken for the research. Now, before starting the research, in this preliminary stage itself, we have to do a preliminary research as well. Like, has anybody else earlier done the research on the same topic? If they have someone has already done it, then there is no point in we people making the research on the same topic. As I said, it has to be an independent, original research. If someone has already done it and there is nothing else that we can do about it, then what is the meaning of doing it, as it can never be an original research? So we have to find the problem which is not touched by anybody else, a genuine, original one. And whether we can complete it or not, will we get stuck at dead ends or not? So these things has to be done in the preliminary research itself, right? So this is the first stage of preparation and topic selection. So we have done a preliminary research. We have got a research area. We have got a research question. We have fixed the committee or the supervisor, which includes only the subject experts, and they are definitely damn sure to guide us properly. The stage is set. Now, the second stage. The second stage is of literary review. Literary review. Literary review means nothing else but review the literature available about those subject areas. So what do you mean by literature? Literature doesn't mean the topic called literature, English or such kinds of things. Literature means articles which are already published on that related area. For example, if you are doing a research on SEBI, what are the, we have prepared a question based on a SEBI and Bitcoin, for example, just for example. Try to find the articles which are published about SEBI, about Bitcoins, about the need of law to control the Bitcoins, and what role has SEBI taken about the Bitcoins, in that way. our research area will be a specific one, but related to that or around that, somebody else might have done some kind of research, some people might have written some articles in the journals. Such kinds of things has to be gathered and read thoroughly. Actually, this gathering of literature, once it used to be a hectic task, like getting into the libraries, going through a number of books, gathering the data and everything. But nowadays, the present day generation is much lucky because we have n number of online tools, online options by which we can gather only the things that we require. Once this literature is collected, we have to analyze the literature and synthesis it. Analyze the literature and synthesis it. Analyze means if we are reviewing one literary article, the entire part of it may or may not be suitable for us. Sometimes what happens is there can be distractions about it. How a foreign country is thinking about the allowing bitcoins in common public, just like the normal national currency. So if they can do it, why can't we? Can be a question. So we have to keep these kinds of distractions away, which can divert us from the research question we have, research problem we have in front of us, and take us into a different way. No. We have to keep these distractions away, analyze the content, and absorb what is useful for us, which can be used in our research. The second is synthesizing it. So we have extracted some content from different sources, we have gathered it, and how we can use those sources in our research. That has to be synthesized, because this literary review that we do is going to be the base on which we are developing our research. The background knowledge that we have, based on which we organized our research, will be mostly based on the literature that we gather from different sources. Now, after analyzing it, after synthesizing it, in the second stage itself, we have to write a review. A review in the sense, a couple of pages or so, which in a streamline, it should say what are the scopes that we have if we have to do this particular research. What is a scope? Will we be able to do this research successfully or not? What are the different sources that we can rely on? All these things need to be charted down just like a review. And when we write this review, we will be quite referring the sources which have already gathered. Please try to make citations. When we make the review, try to make the citations when we write the review, try to make purposeful citations, because these citations will work as a reference when we do our detailed write-up on the dissertation. Otherwise, what happens is we will mess up with the resources and we will end up with no references possible. It means no citable references possible. So as to avoid that particular thing, try to make citations everywhere when we make the review. So that is a second stage. We are making the stage ready to start our research. Now the third stage is of developing the research proposal. We have a problem in our hand, we have a literary support in our hand, we have a committee ready with the subject experts to assist us, to guide us, but we have to present the proposal and the relevance of those proposals in front of the committee to get the approval for that. That is very important. So we write our research question there, the research problem there, and then we simply explain our plan to do the research, the relevance of the research, the need of such kind of a research, and how the outcome of this research can have an impact on the society. Those things will be very specifically mentioned, and that has to get passed by the committee. They have to accept it. So this research proposal is the streamlining of the entire process that we are going to do. We are preparing a plan, a schedule we are going to base upon so that we can complete our research. Now the fourth step is about the research methodology. What kind of a methodology do we adopt so as to complete our research? I've already told you there are different ways by which we can gather information and analyze it. Quantitative research, qualitative research, which we will discuss in detail later, no problem. But as far as our research problem is concerned, as far as the problem that we have in our hand is concerned, which is the most suitable way by which we can organize the research? That we have to finalize. Because if we are going to collect data from different sources, the approach that we have to use for that is different. If we are going to collect samples after making a questionnaire, going into the people and gather the data, the approach is going to be different. For some researchers, we have to do both the things. Then it will be entirely different. So that has to be planned very neatly. So the research methodology, the kind of an approach that we have to take so as to complete this dissertation is very important. We have to plan the ways by which we can gather the data, we can analyze the data. That is also important. So finalizing a designed methodology, a research methodology is the fourth step or fourth stage as far as doing a dissertation is concerned.